English audio is provided by a text-to-speech software.
こんにちは、ともです。英語は苦手なので、音声読み上げソフトを頼っています。それではどうぞごゆっくり。
The opening scene is a recap of the previous episode. While Tanjiro is fighting a demon on his first mission, Nezuko jumps out of a box and attacks the demon. Tanjiro has until now recognized Nezuko as his younger sister, whom he must protect. However, Tanjiro has recognized anew that she is now a demon with fighting strength equal to or greater than his own. Seeing that she is willing to fight even demons to protect humans, Tanjiro asks Nezuko to protect humans while he chases the demons to the bottom of the swamp. Tanjiro entered the swamp and performed a technique. It was water breathing, sixth form, whirlpool. Now let's look at the Japanese translation of this technique. Beneath the Japanese letters is the pronunciation. There are two, so please use the one that is easiest for you to pronounce. In Japanese, there is no distinction between the sounds a and l. I've circled one part of the Japanese characters in red. Can you see it? Do you remember in the last video that I said that kanji and emoji are the same thing? Do you remember what the circled part represents? Kanji with this shape are related to water. Kanji are the same as emoji, so they can convey information to us even if we can't read them. Now, let's look at the meaning of this kanji. This is what it says in the dictionary. Fast-flowing water, or a spiral-shaped current that forms on the surface of a liquid. Also, something that is similar in shape. The first three characters are written in hiragana. It means twist. I learned that there are two English translations for water breathing, sixth form. They are swirling vortex and whirlpool. I think both English translations are really cool. Tanjiro defeats the demon in the swamp and before finishing it off, he asks about Kibutsuji Musen. However, the demon doesn't answer Tanjiro's question. It's not that he doesn't want to answer, it's that he can't answer. Moreover, the demon looks extremely scared. The name, Kibutsuji Musen, was mentioned in the previous episode. In Tanjiro's flashback, Urokodaki told Tanjiro the name as a demon that increases demons. Here, I would like overseas anime fans to understand the feelings of Japanese anime fans. For Japanese people who are experiencing this work for the first time through anime, the impression they get when they hear the name, Kibutsuji Musen, is completely different when they learn the kanji and when they hear the sound. Last time, it was just the sound. But when you see the kanji, you can get an image of the person. And seeing how scared the demon is makes that impression even stronger. I won't explain each kanji in his name. I would like to share with overseas anime fans the scene that these 5 kanji convey. You are walking down a dark road, approaching a crossroads. You hear screams and death groans from the other side of the crossroads. You hide and peer around the corner. There, you see a demon. It looks like it is dancing, and at its feet lies a gruesomely mutilated corpse. I mentioned earlier that kanji are emojis. His name conveys this scene to us through these 5 characters. Tanjiro succeeded in defeating the demon. However, this was not a happy ending for Kazumi, who was searching for her missing fiancé. It was confirmed that she would never see her fiancé again. Tanjiro tried to comfort Kazumi, but the grief-stricken Kazumi yelled abuse at Tanjiro. Tanjiro did not argue back, but simply held Kazumi's hand. Tanjiro bowed to Kazumi without offering any specific words of condolence. Japanese people often bow instead of saying words. Bowing can be a greeting or an expression of respect for the other person. In addition to showing respect to people, Bowing can also show respect for places and nature. If you see a Japanese person bowing in an empty, deserted place, interpret it as a sign that the space itself has some meaning for that person, and that they are offering their respect or gratitude. On his next mission, Tanjiro visited Asakasa. Asakasa is still a popular tourist destination that many people visit today, but it was also a very prosperous town in this time. The eye-catching skyscraper on the right is a real building that was built in 1890. It has 12 floors above ground and is about 52 meters tall. The admission fee to the observation deck on the top floor was roughly the same as the price of eating out twice, so although it wasn't cheap, many people were able to visit. Tanjiro, who grew up in the countryside, gets tired of the crowds in the city and decides to take a break. He comes across a udon stand a little way off the main road. This is a so-called kitchen car type stand, with the owner bringing the kitchen and dining tables in his car. What Tanjiro ordered at this stand was yamake udon. I have introduced this dish in detail in another video. It explains what kind of dish it is and where you can eat it in Japan, so please take a look if you're interested. Tanjiro realizes something and becomes very upset. What is noteworthy here is that Tanjiro was so upset that he dropped his food. Japanese people hate wasting food. Even at home, they are strongly taught not to waste food and not to soil what they leave behind if they can't finish it. Furthermore, a good child who grew up in a poor family like Tanjiro would never waste food. The fact that Tanjiro dropped the udon and ruined it shows how upset he was and that it was abnormal. Tanjiro is convinced that the sudden smell he smells is coming from the demon that killed his family, and follows after it. He pushes his way through the crowd, reaches the source of the smell, and finally puts his hand on his target's shoulder. However, Tanjiro is unable to reach out. The target is holding a little girl, and there is a woman nearby. It becomes clear that the target is living a life pretending to be human, with his human wife and child by his side. The moment Tanjiro put his hand on his shoulder, Kibutsuji, realizing his true intentions, quickly stabs an innocent man passing by and turns him into a demon. In order to save the demon, Tanjiro has no choice but to let Kibutsuji go, even though he is right in front of him. The story takes a sudden turn and will continue in the next episode.